So I found it in undergrad, and I was still focusing in charcoal. And come time for my BFA show, I had all these charcoal drawings, but it just didn't feel right. And so I made the transition to focus in ceramics. And so from there, I was firing in raku firing, and that was my gateway drug into atmospheric firing, like playing with fire and those gas lines. And it was just such a different process. It was so fun. Thankfully, Adam introduced me to that. And so from there, I did a couple of wood firings. I was like, ooh, this is really fun. This is cool. Graduated, and I lost access to those atmospheric kilns from the university. And so from there, I went back into electric, fired work, and I started working at the Gateway Regional Art Center in Mount Sterling, Kentucky. And while I was working there, I started out as a community outreach coordinator, and I kind of made my way up to director of education and lead curator, and working at a 501c3 nonprofit with only 3 full-time staff members was very time consuming. And so my ceramic practice kind of dropped while I focused in those art administration assignments. And that was really interesting still, because I was learning how to teach art. I was still working in clay. My dining room was my studio. I didn't have a dining room. I just kind of made there. And so I still kind of made on the side while I learned how to teach and how to share the artwork. One of the projects at the art center that was really, really fun was the art of recovery. So I'd go into the jail and teach projects, and one of them was clay. And during that time, I learned the significance in sharing my love and my passion with other people, so that way they could also get that as well. And so during my time at the art center, I was there for about 2 years, and I was starting to notice how lacking my making was. I would make a couple of cups here and there, but I wasn't investigating form. I wasn't investigating these firing methods. And so trying to get back into that, I went over to Bobtown Arts in Berea, Kentucky, and fired at their wood fire kiln a couple of times. And I took on a 1 credit back at Morehead State with Quinn Mayer to, study the wood firing a little bit more. And at that point, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is what I want to do. So I was looking for other opportunities, and I put in an application and got accepted to a residency at Queen City Clay, which is where we met. And so now I'm the atmospheric artist in resident there, and I study wood fire and soda firing, kiln building, and all that stuff. So a little bit of hopping around. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess when I say conventional, because I have realized, the more I ask this question, even to other, people who do what I do, it's kind of like, well, what does that mean? I think in that could vary from like country to country as well. I've talked to people from Europe and in Mexico and Canada, and yeah, it's like, what does that actually mean, conventional? But I guess like, do you see other artists in your field doing that kind of work that you just described? Are you taking that kind of path, or is there a more linear kind of path that you chose not to do for whatever reason?
So I found that a lot of people in our field will go into residencies. Residencies are a pretty good standard way of getting to the practice and getting that education outside of the university field. Again, like going to university, getting a BFA, MFA residencies. There's apprenticeships that people will do. I have not done one of those. That system might be a little complicated, but yeah, those are the pretty standard ways of staying in this field.
I realized too, when you were describing, your workspace being your dining room, like that was your studio, that we haven't really quite established. Maybe I've always assumed this too, so it's kind of my fault, but you primarily work with wheel thrown pottery, or were you also doing like hand built pottery, like in your, what, I mean, did you have a wheel in your dining room? Is that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did.
Cool.
Yeah, wheel thrown pots in the dining room,
Awesome.
with the cats running around. And
Yeah, I just imagine like you have people over for like a dinner or something, and you just make a plate and Obviously, that's you can't do that, but
That
it's
reminds
fun to
me.
think about.
My landlord had to come over and fix something, and he brought a buddy, and he saw my N95 mask, and he's like, "I think your tenant is cooking meth." And they're just like, "No, she's a potter.
Yeah,
She's just worried about the clay dust."
yeah, that's oh man. So when did you know that you wanted to pursue this craft as a career? Was there a specific moment when that happened, or was it more just like you fell in love with this and you haven't really thought about anything else ever?
The latter for sure. A gradual progression into just like this. I need to do this. This is what I want to do. If I'm not working in clay or progressing or learning about it, then I feel like not, I'm kind of lost without it.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Micromaker by Loose Leaf Transmissions. We hope you enjoyed this brief glimpse into the inner workings of the creative life. If this resonated with you, be sure to check out the full conversation on Music Maker with Tyler Klein, a podcast exploring craft and process, philosophy and inspiration, and the honest, often messy parts of being an artist, creative uncertainty, purpose and identity, and resilience. You can find Music Maker wherever you get your podcasts or by visiting musicmakerpodcast.com.